Hello and welcome to another episode of The Guitar Case. My name is Brett Roselle, and in this week's tutorial I'm going to be breaking down one of my favorite metric songs, Breathing Underwater. It's going to be the acoustic version, of course, as that is my preferred vessel of choice. So let's hop straight into it. Let's get these chords, let's get this strum pattern going. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get these chords going. So you can see I've put my capo onto the 3rd fret for this song. Really, you can play this in any key that you like. This is just what works best for my voice when I'm singing it. So I've got capo on the 3rd fret, and now let's run through our primary chord progression that's going to run through most of this song. So the first chord that we're going to use is our classic G major. Okay, classic shape, nothing crazy going on here. We've got a G major to start. Now we're going to pivot to a B minor chord. Now this is handy because I've already got my index finger anchored on B on the 5th string. So I'm coming from G major, I'm going to anchor on this B, and now I'm going to pivot into my minor 5th string bar chord. Okay, so I've still got to pivot down into this bar chord, lay that index finger flat, create my foundational power chord, add my extra finger to make it minor, and there's my B minor chord shape. Okay, so we've got G major going to B minor, pivoting on the index finger. Now the nice thing is we get to do that again. And we're going to pivot on that index finger and leave him as an anchor, and he's going to come down and create this shape for E minor. Okay, so our lead finger is leading the charge, and so far we've got G major, going to B flat minor, going to E minor, and then we're going to conclude this chord progression with a C. And this is a nice approachable chord transition because coming from E minor, we're going to anchor now on this 2nd finger, and we can pivot into our C major chord shape to finish off this progression. So we've got G major, pivoting to B flat minor, pivoting to E minor, and then pivoting to C major. Okay, let's check out the strum pattern next. Okay, so we've got our basic chord progression going. We've got our G major, B minor, E minor, and C. Now we've got to add some rhythmic structure to this, okay? So this song is going to be written in 4/4. So we've got 4 beats in each measure, and a quarter note is going to receive 1 beat. Okay, so when I'm counting through this, I'm going to be counting in 4, and with my strum pattern, it's going to be really simplistic for the most part. We're going to start on our G major chord. I'm going to come down on 3 strums, so the first 3 beats are going to be down, 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 and on the 4th beat, I'm going to play down on 4 and then come up on the end of 4. Okay, so what I end up with is 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, let's try that again. If I'm just referring to my direction of strum, I've got down, 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 up, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, so now let's take that strum pattern and let's insert it into our chord progression. So we're going to start on G major. We've got down, 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 up. We're pivoting to B minor, down, 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 up to E minor, down, 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 up, and then to C, down, 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 up. Okay, let's do that one more time. This time I'll count it in terms of the numbered beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 1. And just like that, you've got yourself a chord progression and a strum pattern to pair together, and it's sounding like Breathing Underwater from Metric. Okay, so for your chorus strum pattern, you can keep it fairly loosey-goosey. For our intensive purposes, I'm going to do a pretty basic 4-count strum. I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, let it ring on C and G, and then I'm going to come in for a 1, 2, 3, 4 on E minor and G. Then I'm coming up to D. I'm going to do the same grouping of 4, and then to E. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, Okay, so for our chorus strum pattern, we're going to keep things fairly loosey-goosey. I'm not going to go in too much of structure here. We are working in 4/4, so we're going to keep a rough 4 count, and I'm going to let a lot of chords ring. So I'm going to come in on 4, let that ring, easy 4 strums on E and G, let D ring, and then back to E minor. So let's do that one more time. Pretty loose. 4 strums, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We can go into a little more depth in that strum pattern in another video, but that's a rough outline of what you can do in the chorus of this tune. Okay, let's go to the interlude next. Okay, so the last section of this tune that you need is the interlude. It's easy in structure in the sense that you're just going to bounce between a C major chord and an E minor chord. And that chord progression is really nice and straightforward. We're coming from our C major, and then we're just going to pick up these 2 fingers, leave that second finger anchored on, and pull that index finger down to create that E minor shape. Okay? So the fun part about this interlude is we're going to add some other notes. So I'm going to take my pinky finger and I'm going to add that onto the D on the 2nd string to play around with that. And when I'm on the E minor chord, I'm going to add and remove this index finger on that open B and C to create a little bit of a melody in this interlude. Okay, so we've got our C to E minor. Okay, so one more time, I've got a C, and I'm adding in a D and playing with that D to C little suspension there. Then I'm coming to E minor, and I'm playing with a little suspension between my open B and my C. Okay, so that's what's going on in the interlude. Let's glue all of these parts together, and I'll show you how this is going to work in next week's performance video. Okay, so you have all the components of breathing underwater from metric. You've got your verse chord progression. You've got your chorus progression. And you've got your interlude. Now it's time to glue all of this together. Check back soon, and I'll be performing the full song for you. This has been The Guitar Case. My name is Brett Roselle. Cheers.